Hey everyone, you're watching another episode of In Studio, and I'm super stoked today because we have Christy Carlson Romano and Sadie Stanley.
Hey guys, what's up?
Do.
Oh, you got it.
You did it.
It fell flat.
No, it was good.
I was practicing all day.
It was good. You nailed it.
No, we have two Compossibles here today.
Hey.
Which is pretty epic and cool, and you guys are reunited, which is great too.
Yeah.
What was your reaction when you first found out that Disney wanted to do a live action Compossible?
I was, well, at first I thought that they were trying to bring back the cartoon, and I was very confused. I was at the 100th DCOM premiere, which is the Adventures of Babysitting, and a Disney executive came up to me and told me, hey, we're bringing back KP. And I was like, wait, what? He goes, as the live action. I said, oh, awesome. That's so cool. So I was very excited. I was also like, wait, how is this going to happen? Like, so I came away with it really kind of interested in seeing how it was going to really be able to jump from animation to live action.
And you were able to announce the new Compossible, Sadie, obviously.
Yeah.
What was that like? You got to reunite with Will, too. You guys both announced it.
Yeah, that was super fun. Will Friedle is a really great guy. He's a lot of fun, and we've been seeing each other a lot. Sometimes we'll do Comic-Cons together, and the fans are obviously so, vibrant and alive, and so, they're still out there. You guys are still out there. And we decided we wanted to come together for something very funny. And so I had come up with an idea, and then he wrote down the idea. Oh, and then, he wrote it.
I didn't even know that. That's so cool. He's
an amazing writer. So he wrote it, and we put our heads together, and then Disney was really, really gracious and said, okay, like, come to this, come to the building, and we'll record it. And Bob and Mark are in it, who are the creators of Compossible, and Lisa Schaefer, who is one of the main director of Compossible, the animated show. She's in it as well, and my baby's in it, and so it was like a whole just very organic approach, and also kind of like just a funny wink and a nod. And then we got, of course, to announce Sadie and Sean, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Now, Sadie, were you a Compossible fan, and did you remember it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I knew exactly what it was when I heard about the project, and I thought it was so cool and a really awesome idea because I knew immediately, I mean, even though I didn't even grow up watching it as when it first came out because I was a little young for it, I mean, Compossible is just such a iconic character. Like, everybody knows who she is, even if they didn't watch it, and everybody knows the theme song, even if they didn't watch it. Like, it's crazy.
You guys want to sing the theme song?
Okay, ready?
Do.
So what's the sitch?
I love it. That was so cute.
So
it's the cadence. It's like, it's a very specific way of saying it.
Yeah.
Christy, what were some of your fondest memories of recording, I guess, for the animated series? And Sadie, what were some of your memories from the film?
Wow. I think that the group records, I had a few because I was in college at the time in New York, but the group records were a lot of fun. We had amazing guest stars. But one in particular is actually in the movie, which is Patton Oswalt. Yeah. And he became a bigger villain over time, and just the fact that he's in the movie, I think, is just such a cool Easter egg, a throwback, like whatever you want to call it. Yeah. It's super fun.
Yeah, nobody could have played Professor Dementor, other than him. It was so awesome to have him back, and it was an honor to be able to work with him and her.
Yeah, he's really great.
He's so witty and so funny, like working with him, like in between takes and stuff, he's just hilarious, and he put in so much improv and
I was gonna say, did he improv?
Stuff. Oh, tons, like pretty much all of his lines that they put in the movie are his. Like, they're so funny.
See, I think that was one of my other really great moments in seeing how much improv was put into an animated show, where you see sometimes. That's what I think the humor, the tone of Compossible in this movie, as well as the animated version, it's like that. There's a quality to KP that makes it so timeless and classic that makes everybody like it.
I love that you call it KP. That's so cool.
Oh, I guess so.
Yeah.
You say it enough times, you just call it KP.
Agreed. I definitely,
She knows what I mean.
Yeah.
What were some of your other favorite memories from the film and, I guess, this cast?
I mean, so many. Like, whenever somebody asks me, what my favorite day was or what my favorite scene is, that's such a hard question for me, but...
Pick one scene and one day.
I think my favorite part was just getting so close with the cast. That was just the most fun. We all stayed in the same hotel, and because we were in Vancouver, and we just all got incredibly close, and as our friendship developed in real life, our characters' friendship developed, filming, and that was just probably my favorite part. I just loved
Team Possible, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They're really Team Possible.
Now, Sean can't be here today, but I was kind of watching some more things with him, and he kind of is like Ron.
Ron.
He is
He is the epitome of Ron.
Yeah, both of you guys are the best choices for characters I've ever seen.
Thank you.
What was working with him like? And
he is the funniest person ever. He's so witty and quick, but he's also he has the biggest heart of anybody. He is so caring. I talk about how much I love Sean all the time in like every interview. People are gonna think I'm obsessed, but like he's such a great guy. Like he listens and he really like he'll like bring things up that you talked about like 5 days ago, and you're like, how did you even remember that? And he's just so caring. He was so much fun to work with, and nobody could have played Ron better than him.
Now with him being kind of similar to Ron, I guess how do you guys relate to Kim?
Yeah, I feel like me and Kim are very similar. I can relate to her a lot. I mean, we're both just regular teenage girls. I mean, I'm not saving the world on a weekly basis, but I deal with high school and everything like that. And I think something we both have in common is we're both very optimistic people, and we try and see the best in situations, and we're both very ambitious. We like a lot on our plate, sometimes to a fault. And yeah, I love how good of a friend she is. I try and be like that. I'd like to think that I'm a good friend. I think something that I was really excited to bring into the live action Kim Possible was a vulnerable side. We got to see her be struggle a little bit more. We saw her perfect facade and this perfect girl that you see in the cartoon. She's got everything together. We see her stumble a little bit, and I think that's even more relatable because high school is daunting and scary for a lot of kids, and you go through a lot and you're dealing with so much stuff and you're figuring out who you are, and so I think that's something that kids are going to be able to relate to, and she gets out of this slump that she's in because she has her best friends by her side, and I think that's a really great message too, the value of friendship and what that can do.
Just got goosebumps. Yeah, I think it's true to who Kim should be for the live action. It's totally, I think the writing was really great, and I do know that Bob and Mark set that up. I think that they made that part of it from the initial scripts, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, they wanted Kim to obviously always be very relatable, but this is a whole different thing. I mean, she's being shook. She's totally being shook, and the way that Sadie plays it, she plays it for real. She doesn't play it like, this is some high concept version of a character. Like, she plays it for keeps and for real, like she really is Kim. I think that there was times in my life that I looked to Kim as a role model. I think I got the honor to voice her, but that's obviously very different. I think when you're approaching a character in a live action film, because I also have on-camera experience, you definitely start to bridge your identity with that character a little quicker. So when you're just behind a microphone and you're seeing, the art and you're voicing that, it's a little bit more of an artistic piece rather than like something where you're fusing your like souls, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Kim, over time, because she's been in my life for so long, and I've heard so many stories about people and the fans that have come up that have said, this has changed my life. Like, I shared this with my dad who's now passed, or, you'll hear some amazing stories over time. And the fact that Kim could, in what she represents and who she stands for, that was always inspirational for me, and it continues to be inspirational for me. So.
What was your, reaction to seeing the film for the first time?
Well, I just saw it, and I was gonna try to wait for the premiere, but I'm glad I didn't. But I'm also like, it's great, guys. Like, it's really fun. It's so vibrant. Adam and Zach did a fantastic job. They're so dedicated to the IP and the world of KP. I'm throwing out a lot of acronyms and stuff. You're good. That's what I'm throwing down. But they get it. Like, they really. It took. Yeah. I was a little, and to be honest, I'm gonna say this. Yeah. I was a little worried because they weren't female. I thought maybe like, hey, like, oh, it's gonna be KP. They're gonna have like a female director. So then I was like, wait a minute. Could it be that they'll understand who Kim is because she's so fearless and so female? But it didn't matter that she was female or not, and actually that spoke to just their dedication to who KP was and what she was about, and she's a girl for all time. So they really threw themselves into the world, and that was what was most important, is that we had actual fanboys directing the show.
Huge fanboys too.
Right?
Like
Do you have any stories of them being like total nerds?
Oh, just
Adam and Zach?
Just constantly total nerds. They put so many little Easter eggs, like in Kim's room, there's little, shirts and different things on the walls from the episodes, and cool. I remember, at the studio, there was walls full of, inspiration pictures from the cartoon for her room. They took pictures from everything, from the outside of the house, from Bueno Nacho sets, so that they could make it feel authentic and make it, the live action, feel true to the world of KP, and I think they did such a great job, and
It's super fun. Like,
yeah.
Just finished watching it. One of my favorite parts, though, was the reintroduction of Rufus, who wasn't in it for a lot of the movie, and then I was like, where's Rufus? And then he, like, meets
Well, let's be honest, CGI is expensive.
Yeah.
Let's be real, yeah. And he looks so good, too. Like,
he looks so good.
Oh my gosh, he has this little, like, belly. Like, that's my favorite part of the CGI Rufus. He has, like, this little belly. And, like, naked mole rats, if you've seen them, they're absolutely terrifying. Absolutely revolting, if we're being honest. Like, no offense, Rufus, but they made him so cute.
He shook off the water. It was just
yeah.
So I wish he was here. I wish we had money for CGI.
I know. You could, like, put it on your shoulder. Yeah.
How much stunts did you do? I mean, did you do most of the stunts?
Yeah, well, I knew as soon as I booked the role, I wanted to go into it doing as much of my own stunts as possible. I wanted to be Kim Possible completely and fully as I could. Obviously within reason. I didn't want to, like, hurt myself or make it look bad, but so I had definitely had some amazing stunt doubles that made me and everybody else look really good, and they're amazing. But yeah, I did a lot of training beforehand. I did 3 weeks of Taekwondo back in South Carolina because Kim's fighting style is it's kind of pretty almost, and it's very martial arts influenced. The whole process was very empowering. Like, I learned how to defend myself, and I looked really cool, and it was something I'd never done before, and I just felt like Kim Possible.
That's awesome.
Do you wish you got to do the combat training though? Or?
I watch what she did, and I just think it's fantastic. I don't even know if that, like, technology existed with wires back then. I'm not sure. Maybe it did.
And now the ending kind of leaves it open for another film. Is that something that's going to happen? Is this?
I hope so.
I
think the whole cast and crew hopes for that. I think that it's kind of left on a cliffhanger, and there's so many endless options that so many paths they could take, and I think it would be really interesting to see the world expand and
where do you want to see it go?
Gosh, I don't even know. I hope that
do you want to see KP and Ron, like, get
I was
together?
just about to say,
like, as soon as the next
I don't know about the next one, or I don't know how many they're gonna be. I don't know, but I think eventually that should happen, because that's such a big part of the cartoon, and, like, the fandom, like, that was huge.
It was a big deal.
Even
Well, seeing Kim get jealous about Ron
that's so
giving
cute.
attention to someone else, I was like, that's classic.
Yeah. So.
Now, Christy, we have to talk about your return to the series, through the movie, in your character, and I don't want to give it too much away, but what were the conversations like about kind of bringing you back for it?
Yeah, well, after we did after I found out about it, and then launched my plan of attack to get in the movie some way, I was like, I gotta be in this movie.
Of course.
But it really was just a matter of being like, hey guys, I've got this idea, like, maybe we can announce, and then they were great with it, and then I just kind of waited, and I know a lot of people on the Disney executive side, so I was kind of, like, trying to, like,
just, hey, I'm here, I'm available. If that,
I mean,
very poppy of you.
Yeah, it was, and so it came about that there was an opportunity, and I was pretty excited about it, because at first I was like, oh, it's a cameo. I'm gonna go up to Canada for, like, a day. Fine, right? I hadn't seen it, but then when I had received the script and saw that it was like an actual character name, it wasn't just like you were, tumbling through a cafe and I was like, who's that girl? You know?
Yeah, it was like a one-liner.
It was more than that. Yeah. And so I was very happy that it was that way.
Yeah.
And I was honored. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to approach her like I want to approach her like a human being and I want to actually do a decent job of it and make her fun. And I think it came out really great. And I also think that when I came in, and Disney didn't used to, maybe they did, but back when I was doing DCOMs, oh my gosh, it wasn't as like taxing to spend so many days to get makeup tests and then just right, and then the costumes had to be just right. So Poppy Blue had like so many different versions. At one point she was called Kitty Cat. I mean, and it was like they were trying to really find the voice of this character. So I really wanted to have a take on her. So I thought she was larger than life and a lot of fun, and she had this unique relationship to Kim, and that is also a throwback to how Kim gets around because she doesn't have her driver's license yet.
Yeah.
So she has to rely on rides. But the character's dressing, it was a very important thing. So I had a lot of different looks. But what we settled on, I thought was super fierce.
It was fabulous.
And she's great. She's like a total icon now.
Yeah.
Like, I love the way she looks, and I love that character.
Yeah, and filming that scene was so much fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was so fun.
What advice have you given Sadie, and I guess what advice do you have for her now?
Oh my gosh.
Well, while you think, I would like to say that something that really meant a lot to me is how much you trusted me with the character, and how, like, immediately she threw her support to the whole project as a whole, but also to me specifically. And something that meant a lot was that you never made me feel any sort of pressure to play Kim in a certain way, because it would be easy for you to come in and be like, you know, this is who Kim is, like, this is what she would do, and this is what she would say.
Yeah.
But you gave me the freedom and the space to figure it out on my own and make Kim my own, and that meant a lot
so
to me.
I do. You're doing so awesome.
Thank you.
It's a lot to take on. I mean,
Yeah.
Sadie right now is at the beginning of this journey, and you know, she has that people that are in her corner, and I'm sure that it's there's so many things out there that I didn't have to deal with when I, you know, Instagram didn't exist, Twitter didn't even barely exist, and you know, keeping your focus is probably the most important thing, right? It's like you just want to keep the people that are in your corner around you, and it's not like you're gonna get a big head, because the people that are in your corner are really there to give you that three-dimensional viewpoint on, like, where you're at and who you are. And I mean, I think Sadie's smart enough, and, like, she's an individual. She can make her own decisions. But I'm sure if she needs me, she can call me or beat me.
Oh, yes, of course.
Now your Even Stevens co-star Shia LaBeouf is actually making a movie, or made it.
You know who Shia LaBeouf is, right?
I do.
You do, right?
Yes.
He made a movie about kind of his life as a child actor, and can you kind of talk about, like, I guess, your favorite memories from working with him and on the set of Even Stevens?
We definitely had that, like, that chemistry that we had, even from when we went to the, I distinctly remember the Disney Channel building, like, walking in, and I'm sure you remember when you had your chemistry reads.
Yeah.
Same building.
It's like, I call it the Disney Tower, and it's like, when you get to the 21st floor of the Disney Tower, that's when you know it's, like, it's a big deal.
The dings just get louder, and they start echoing in the elevator. You're like, oh, God!
And there's, like, more and more people in your audition room, and, like, yeah.
So the chemistry reads were really, I mean,
love chemistry reads,
they're really significant, and maybe someday, you know, you'll look back, you're like, I remember my chemistry with Sean, or I'll remember it with Sierra. Because my chemistry with Shia was so singular. He had, like, dyed hair, he had brown, and then, like, there was weird blonde spots, and then I came in from where I'm from originally in Connecticut, and I had, like, a Ralph Lauren suit on, and my character was, like, very put together, and, like, we couldn't have been more different. And so that energy that we had in the chemistry read was something that Disney has been doing, and I think that it's very, very valuable for their content that they're making, and I think they probably did the same thing, the same process with this, and it's going to pay off really well.
No, chemistry reads are so much fun. That's my favorite part of auditioning, because it's so much fun to actually work with another actor on the scenes, because you've been, like, staring at them in your bedroom for, like, weeks, and it's like it's fun to be able to interact with another actor who's
What was it like to do your chemistry with Sean?
It was so much fun. I remember there was a few Rons there auditioning, and Sean was perfect. I remember for one of the audition scenes, he had to do a lot of, like, Rufus stuff. Obviously, Rufus isn't there. So he's, like, you know, pretending he's crawling on him and that kind of thing. And I remember thinking he was so good at that. I remember thinking his voice was perfect. And then I knew he was going to be the choice.
He was your favorite.
You picked him. You picked him up.
The chemistry was real.
Yeah, no, he was great. And then I also did a chemistry read with the Sierra. And chemistry reads are even more fun when you already have the role. Because then you're just, like, chilling. But yeah, it was really fun to do it with Sierra too, because her role is also Athena. Is a really big part of the plot of our movie, and a really great addition to the world of Kim Possible, I think.
Thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate it. But before you go, Make sure you guys watch Kim Possible on Disney Channel and in the Disney Now app. I'm nervous. You won't.
Stop it!
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
We're gonna give birth before we finish.